Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Momentum 2025. Like I said, my name is Seth, and I've promised that someone much more interesting was going to be sitting on the couch with me. We got my good friend Kyle. Some of you might know him as Cute Monster Props, a constant donor to me at GDQ throughout the years, has made us some absolutely mind-blowingly cool things, is a local professional prop maker here in Georgia, and is here to help clear up some confusion or something, I think you said?
Yeah, well, thank you, Sen. I just noticed that sometimes it can be difficult for you to describe sort of the inner workings of the life of an SFX artist. You know, when you're on the middle of a stream, you know, you're trying to clear up confusion, kind of inspire millions with your words and voices. And so I'm going to make it just a little bit easier for you to understand kind of the tools of my trade, the day-to-day, what it's like, so you don't have to worry about confusing one material for another.
I'm not sure who you're talking about with inspire millions, but I'm interested in the idea, so
You're
please go on.
inspiring me, and I'm just echoing that back at you. But yes, let's clear up some of my tools for you, so you have new confidence when talking about the prizes. So I'm an SFX artist, and a lot of what I do is what I start with is a 3D print, like this, all right? This is FDM, so that's hot plastic, goes up layer by layer, builds it up to any shape you want. Usually when you print it out, it's got all the lines on it, looks kind of bad unless you sand it. This has been sanded a lot, and then it looks real nice, all right? FDM, 3D print, got it, cool, yep. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I know 3D print.
Yeah.
Big machine goes ver, and it builds stuff, usually orange.
Okay, the same one?
Okay.
3D print, all right, resin print, got it? Resin, all right?
Yeah.
And that's more brittle. It's a laser that's curing a liquid vat of plastic that's building it up layer by layer, any shape you want, all right, got it? 3D print, 3D print.
Right.
Simple?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Any shape you want,
Any
layer
shape
by
you want,
layer.
layer by layer.
Any shape you want, layer by layer. Yeah.
Solid plastic gets hot. Liquid plastic gets hot, it turns solid.
I don't get it, but keep going, Kyle.
Okay. No, it's quite simple. So I'll just keep talking, and that'll make it easier for you. All right. So let's say you've cleaned up your 3D print or sculpture or whatever, and now you want to make duplicates of it. You want it to be a less brittle material. I've got this little platform here. All right. Cool. So we're gonna mold it. This is a resin print. Yeah, remember that?
Okay. Yeah.
And then
that's the brittle one.
And then I made a little box out of a FDM print. Okay. And then we pour silicone in that. That's molding. So now we have like a silicone empty cavity of the thing I just made, all right? When you pour in resin into that, that's casting. You cast with resin, you mold with silicone, got it? So cast.
Right, you cast with resin, but you also print with resin.
You also print with resin, and you mold with silicone. You can't cast with silicone unless you're casting something flexible, in which case I would pour silicone into this mold. So you can't cast with silicone. Most of the time you cast with resin, though.
Can you print with silicone?
You know, I had a really poorly researched write-up that said that I 3D printed with silicone one time, but no, you can't.
No.
You probably can. If you ask some chemical engineer, I bet you can. But for my purposes, you don't. Okay, so now you have your thing in the shape of whatever you want to cast. You can pour some resin in there, all right? There's all different types of resin, all right? You know at least two. We're going to go through a bunch of them, all right? So, you know, you can get like different resins that are more like flexible and durable, sandable. There's clear resins. You can cast in different colors and all that. You can cast stuff in them, like this resin, only this isn't resin, it's epoxy, because it doesn't react to water, although epoxy is a type of resin, so...
But you said it wasn't resin.
It was a resin. Okay. So resin is an umbrella term, but it's epoxy. This is different.
All right, so that's epoxy. You cast with it, and it gets hard.
Well, yeah, exactly. There you go.
All right,
See,
I'm learning about it.
You're so good. But, you know, just to clear things up, resin, it's a liquid that's chemically activated to turn solid, all right? Epoxy, it's a liquid that's chemically activated to turn solid. Does that clear things up?
No.
Okay, good. But yeah, I mean, you can do any number of things with this. I mean, it's just sky's the limit, and you're able to, you know, I could say get a resin print and fill it with my own resin to make it sturdy if I don't want it to be brittle. That's something I could do. Or I could mold it and cast it to, you know, make this clear. You know, it's really anything I wanted. I could pour resin in the mold for this and slush it around and make it hollow. But at the end of the day, if you just see what I do and you just list any of these words, it'll probably be right. So.
All right. So what I'm hearing is that if I say resin or epoxy or basically just any kind of plastic. It's all the same thing.
Yeah, and I'll be at home going, no.
You and only you will be mad about that. Thank you, Kyle. I think that cleared up absolutely nothing. Okay, so real quick.
Yeah.
When do you use each of these? When does it matter? All right.
Okay, being genuine and not
Sure.
purposely trying to deceive you or make it difficult for you to keep track of like what resins I'm talking about here. Usually I'll start with a 3D print.
Okay.
Clean that up, paint, primer, whatever. Then I'll make a little box for it and I'll pour silicone over it so I've got my cavity. And then usually I'll pour either a clear resin if it's a gem or something, a opaque resin if it's just a more solid thing that takes to paint nicely. And then, yeah, from there I clean it up, I prime it, I paint it, I assemble it if it's multiple pieces, and then I send it off to GDQ.
Awesome. So in your eyes, like, casting is kind of the step up from 3D printing as far as like a creative process goes. Like if you're building something, 3D print it, and then we cast it, and then we actually pour resin into it, and that's kind of where we're getting the finished out.
Yeah, that's what you're going to do with like a film, because a lot of Georgia is film and television production. If you want something to survive to be used at, say, a convention and not just break into a million pieces, that's a huge thing that you have to learn, is how to make your stuff survive the people that didn't make it. It's one of the most difficult things you can possibly do, because you know to be gentle with it, but you don't know why and where you should be gentle.
Right.
But yeah, so with the resins, I get so much more control over how sturdy something is, how heavy something is. I can put metal bits of wire or rods in there to, like, on thin spots I know that are going to get a lot more pressure or tension or things, or where things are going to be dropped. You know, I've made like a staff, and I made the bottom of the staff out of a squishier, flexible resin, so I can just jam that into the ground, because I knew that was going to happen. I'd drop it. And the rest of it was the more brittle stuff that looks a little bit better. It's a little bit easier to handle with. So that's the cool thing about it, is once you kind of are given this tool set, now you're like, oh, well, I can make this flexible. I can make this like super solid and lightweight. And you get this whole bevy of like things you can do to make a prop that works for carrying around for 4 hours at cosplay, taking a beating that you don't really care if it looks as nice as like your photo shoot piece. So it's just really cool to like have that sense of control and just, I mean, anytime I go into the materials store, it's like a kid in a candy shop, because I'm like, you're telling me like this is like luminescent. If I charge it up with a UV light, it'll glow, or like, this will put like a cool opalescent like sheen on it. So it's just all sorts of cool materials, and I think that's what's endlessly fascinating about what I do, is like even at my day job today, or the other day, like we're learning new materials like every single day, and we're going like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So.
That's awesome. I mean, Kyle, you have a background as a cosplayer, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. And I mean, that's all I did was I made a costume, and then I made a slightly more complicated costume, and then I just kept doing that, and now I do it all day, every day.
Well, Kyle, thank you so much for your incredible breakdown. We have plastic, different kinds of plastic, and also a kind of plastic that's called epoxy that I'm pretty sure is the same thing. I've learned nothing from this, but hopefully everyone at home has. Kyle, where are you this weekend if people want to find you and maybe get a better explanation than the distillation I just tried to give the audience?
The beautiful thing is, like, I like to confuse and befuddle you, Sant. Really, that's all. This is just for me. But I do really love talking shop about this stuff, and also like helping people who might not be as familiar. Like, I love breaking down where to start. Like, what's easy? What you only have to worry about this stuff when you've done 100 of these things, and you really need to know what you're doing. But to get started, it's way easier. But if you want to find me, you can go over to Storyteller Cosplay's booth. That's at 1918, just right under that sign. That's my wife. She sells these lovely resin horns, and she does some amazing cool work too, because she also got bit by that bug. That bug was me. And loves to, experiment with different colors and different clear materials and solid materials and paints and stuff. And it's endlessly fascinating.
That's awesome. So all you aspiring cosplayers out there who maybe just kind of 3D printed something together real quick for your costume, maybe looking to take it to the next level, check out casting. Check out Kyle. Check out the cool stuff that he does over at Cube Monster
do
Props.
not observe me. Observe these things in front of me. That's why I make them. So look at them.
I'm a true patron of his craft right there. Observe the craft, not the
There you go.
craftsman. Kyle, it's always a pleasure. It's been a
Thank you
pleasure
so
to finally meet you in person and
Yeah,
talk to you
yeah.
on this couch, man. It's been a pleasure having you
Yeah.
here, and thank you so much for joining me. Everyone, when we come back, we've got some Kaizo Super Mario World for you with Akogage Mario World. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.